Show me what you got.
How's it going, guys and geeks? Welcome back to the Geekritique show. We're your hosts. I'm Jen.
I'm Dakota. And we're going to be doing a question and answer that we, signed up for last week. We asked you guys to come join our Discord server, which you still can, by the way. Link is in the description. It's the top link in the description, right above the Patreon link. So please come join us at our Discord, totally free. It's a fun community. We've been having a lot of fun all week.
Yeah, it's been really awesome, seriously.
And unfortunately, this is kind of sad, but this is actually the second time we're filming this video, so a lot of the questions that we're answering aren't as, as a surprise to us anymore.
Some of them I might have forgotten already.
All right,
so it might be a fresh answer, different answer than last time.
We filmed it first 2 days ago, and I forgot to turn the microphone on, so it's just soundless, which is so aggravating.
Unfortunate, because our dear brother-in-law, well, my dear brother-in-law, his dear brother.
My real brother.
My brother, not of my blood, brought me this Totoro from Japan that I love.
And a Heartless, actually. And we did it was unfortunate because we actually did an unboxing of the gift, and she freaked out because she loves Totoro so much. So I guess you can imagine that in your mind.
And I kissed his little, look how scrumptious his tail is.
Yeah. It's like, obviously it's not real fur, but it feels real.
Divine. This is how I picture Totoro feeling.
And this is obviously a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts. For those of you guys who have played that game, you may know that it's my favorite game ever. It's what I grew up on. Don't let him knock over Mr. Meeseeks.
No!
And if you guys are interested at all, my brother did a vlog series in Japan. He was there for about a month with his friend, and they traveled all over Kyoto and Tokyo, and they posted a few videos of their adventures there, and it's hilarious and it's fun.
And I think they still have a couple of more videos coming out.
Yeah, I think they've released 3 of 5, so there's more to look forward to.
They're awesome.
Link also in the description. But we have more people to thank in this episode. Your mother-in-law, or my mother-in-law, your real mother. We're mixing this up.
My mother of my blood.
Yes. If you're wondering why Rick and Morty are so strangely colored, it's because my mother-in-law decided she was going to go shopping at the flea market and get me what she thought was a real Rick and Morty shirt, but it's definitely bootlegged.
But my mom has an uncanny passion for buying Dakota t-shirts.
Yeah.
Not me, just Dakota.
Thanks, Mom. We also have to thank our subscriber, Zephin, also known as Patrick in real life, obviously. He made a motion logo for us, which I've been trying to do forever, and I just don't have the skill for.
So cool.
And now the Geekritique logo has a motion logo, so you're going to be seeing that in our intros. Well, starting with this video, because I've already edited that motion logo into our intro.
So, thank you.
Yes. We asked you guys 3 questions. And you answered. And then we also asked you a bonus question, which some of you also answered.
Which I appreciate.
We had about 25 voters in total. We asked you guys pancakes or waffles, aliens, do they exist or do they not, and sci-fi or fantasy. And interesting results.
Very interesting.
Let's look through it. All right, so out of the 25 that voted, 4 of you said either both or neither, which is about 16%. 9 of you said that you would prefer pancakes, which is about 36%.
In all their fluffy glory.
In all their fluffy glory. And 12 of you voted for waffles, so that's 48%. That's the majority.
So, I understand, and we both agree, that waffles are superior.
Yes.
So,
it's clear.
We have a reigning champion of the, breakfast dessert class.
Here's the thing. We probably also should have mentioned French toast as an option, but that would have been too hard for people, I think.
Yeah, that would have been tough. That would have been really tough.
But waffles, they have crevices to hold your syrup and your butter. It's like the perfect container for your syrup.
And they're both crunchy and chewy.
That's true.
And for me, I eat my food in like weird little bites. Like
and you can divide that really well.
Yeah, it's a nice grid. It's a perfect platform. It's like looking at a map of New York City and getting to, map my route through.
Yes.
That didn't come out smoothly.
Okay. So, aliens, do they exist? One of you said maybe.
So there's all or nothing here for the most part.
It's pretty much all or nothing. 5 of you said they don't exist.
Said nah.
So that's only about 20% of the responses that we got. 19% of you, 19 of you, that's 76%, voted yes, aliens exist in some form or another, whether that be intelligent life form or simply critters or, some life form. So that's interesting.
So that's very interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, it was really cool seeing the conversation that unfolded, because I don't know, I didn't really have expectations when I came up with that question, but I was kind of, just expecting like very simple answers, but it was almost flattering to see how intelligent the people who have subbed to our YouTube channel are. It makes me feel better about myself, knowing that such intelligent people are actually watching us two freaks sitting on our couch.
Yes.
So I thought that was pretty cool that people had like really like sound reasoning, for the most part. And like actual, like then they showed us like other YouTube videos and it became like a really cool discussion, which I liked. And my answer is that I would like there to be, but I would like it to be like cute little critters on other planets, like porgs. Like I want a porg planet. I want Octo, but just the porgs.
Or Totoro.
Or Totoro. Oh my gosh, with all the little dust bunnies. Not a Mr. Meeseeks planet. I'm so sorry. That would be too much for this galaxy to handle.
Or a Heartless, because, they take over the whole galaxy
Yes.
and destroy people's hearts. Anyway, next question, sci-fi or fantasy? 5 of you said you have no preference, one or the other, or you couldn't choose, which is it's understandable. And if I was being honest with myself, I'd probably land somewhere in the middle, but I think just an inch over to fantasy. But 10 of you voted for fantasy and 10 of you voted for sci-fi, so it's a tie at 40% each.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty strong. And I think we should do a video on like the differences between science fiction and fantasy and where that line is met.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, actually. And I think it'd be
an interesting discussion.
Yeah, it's hard because someone actually made the point that fantasy can be sci-fi, but sci-fi can't be fantasy. And that's true, and I think that's why a lot of people like fantasy better. You disagree?
I also disagree about that.
Why?
Because you can have fantasy worlds on alien planets. Or fantasy civilizations on alien planets.
Oh, in sci-fi, you're saying?
In sci-fi, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's a fine line, and it's never like, well, it is sometimes like one or the other, clearly. Mm-hmm. But there are like some where it's so close you have to like really like pinpoint where that line is drawn and stuff like that. So it would be interesting getting your opinions, guys. Like, where is the line drawn between fantasy and science fiction, and what is your favorite work of science fiction and fantasy?
Yeah, for me, a lot of my favorites, the more I thought about it, do kind of line up in the middle, because I like fantastical elements a lot. I love that kind of stuff, actually, but I also like rules. I guess I like guidelines. Like, what comes to mind for me is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I just like when there are fantastical elements, but they're specific, so rules are carried out with them. I really like that, because then I feel like it makes the characters have to be more creative. It's not like, kind of like something that we've talked about with Matt Smith, just like waving his sonic screwdriver. I like when the rules are laid out and specific so that the characters need to be creative.
Right. And what you're referring to is his sonic screwdriver, which he used ad nauseum between seasons like 5 through 7. And it became kind of like a magic wand. But there were no rules for this wand because it had infinite...
Only that it couldn't be worked on wood.
Yes, which they eventually found a way to do so anyway in Day of the Doctor. But that made a little more sense anyway than the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they explained it. But anyway, we'll talk more about that in a future video of like where the line draws between fantasy and science fiction, because there are stuff like Star Wars and Doctor Who that is science fantasy. It's neither science fiction nor fantasy in any one respect. It's an amalgam of both.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the line drawn with you guys? We want to know. And the last question, the bonus question that we asked you guys was favorite animal.
I like giraffes and sea turtles. I like koalas too.
I like monkeys. I like dogs. I like a lot of things. I like kangaroos.
Oh my gosh.
Baby kangaroos particularly.
Baby kangaroos are so cute, and then they like grow up and start kicking people in the face, and it's like, whoa.
I would love to pet a baby wolf too.
Oh my gosh. I would love to pet an adult wolf. They're so cool.
Most of you guys...
I also love killer whales. I replace sea turtles with killer whales.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. The most chosen answer for that was dogs, with I think 4 or 5 like specific votes for that. Cats were a close second at like 3. And then we got some random stuff like the mantis shrimp.
We got some of the coolest answers from you guys.
Tardigrades. Oxalotls.
Oxalotls. Those are, I want one so bad. They are insanely cute.
What else did people choose?
The water bears, what are they really called?
Tardigrades.
Oh, okay, we already said that.
Yeah.
I like them water bears.
So, thank you guys for all your answers. We really enjoyed reading them and the reasons why you enjoyed, or why you enjoy those, or those preferences or whatever.
Yeah, and it led for some really fun and cool conversations all around.
Yeah. All right, on with the questions.
On to the questions.
Over at our Discord, we still are having a conversation about pretty much everything geeky. We set some rules, no politics, no religion, because we don't feel it's necessary in that setting to, air out our grievances with others.
It seems to only lead to arguments.
It'll only lead to arguments, and we don't want that over at our Discord. But you guys gave us some really awesome, really funny questions, and interesting questions that we can actually probably spin off and do a whole episodes over, I think. First question by Faction Paradoctor. If you could be a companion to any doctor, which doctor would it be and why? Jen?
I think I have to go with David Tennant.
The boyfriend doctor.
He's my boyfriend. I want to touch his hair.
Just like once a day, just like...
No, more than once a day, man. Any opportunity, I just want to be like... Ah.
Now, my hair isn't as good as David
It's pretty
Tennant's.
good, though.
It's alright. Anyway.
But I do like his personality, and I like the ways that he usually defeats his enemies. It's more than obviously that he's the boyfriend doctor. I just absolutely love him.
You love the energy that he has.
Yes. Tom Baker is really working his way up in the ranks, though, I must say. And I feel like I would feel safest with Tom Baker.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Why?
I don't know. Just so far, he hasn't been too, like... The way that he handles things, he's so calm that he puts me at ease.
Okay.
Whereas, Matt Smith, even Capaldi's kind of like a little bit of a spaz too. Like they're having fun, but they're like so high energy. Whereas like I feel like Tom Baker is the perfect amount of silliness but calm.
Okay.
He's like a silly calm, whereas the other ones are like silly energy.
I'd have to say the 8th Doctor, just because I guess my personality is probably closest to his. So there's that.
Yeah, I've said this before, not only in the first time we recorded this, but other times, that I don't know if Dakota would make a really good companion. I feel like he would butt heads with the Doctor quite a bit.
Yeah, I would start doing his job for him, I think. Just because... I don't know, I wouldn't like to be the sidekick character, I don't think. I mean, it would be fun to travel in the TARDIS every now and then, but...
He's more Doctor material.
Yeah. Guts and Glory, you've asked us a few questions, and unfortunately, to both questions, we have to say, no, we haven't. You asked us, have we watched Stephen King's The Stand? It's a book and a miniseries. watched and read, actually. And you also asked, have you seen the web series Becoming Human? And to both accounts, we have to say no, because we haven't. Sorry.
So sorry.
Smell of Evil says, Geekritique, what's your favorite 80s film? Mine is definitely E.T. or Stand By Me. If I had to choose, it's probably E.T. You know, I told myself that I would think about this after we filmed it the first time. We didn't think about it at all. So I guess I'm sticking with my guns and saying Empire Strikes Back.
I think I might go with... I jokingly said Overboard because that's the
right.
only... what's his name?
Kurt Russell.
It's the only Kurt Russell film that I've seen.
Well, no, now.
Well, now I've seen a few. I've seen Guardians, so that has him. But we've been saying we need to do a Kurt Russell-a-thon.
Kurt Russell-thon, yeah.
Kurt Russell-thon.
It's a thing.
But, yeah, I was going to say that as a joke, because one time, I think it was when we saw the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, Kurt Russell came on the screen, and I said, oh my god, it's the guy from Overboard. And Dakota was like, what?
Yeah, it was a real thing.
But I think if I'm being more serious, I'll go with one of the Indiana Jones. Maybe the first? No, the third.
Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade. That's 80s, right?
Yeah.
Alright, there you go.
Very 80s. By Common Sense Not Fallacious, Geekritique, favorite nonfiction work. Now, this is an interesting question, and I have a very simple answer, and it's my life. It's my favorite nonfiction work.
Actually, it's really sad. We really do not read a lot of nonfiction.
At all.
I think for us, when we're reading or watching TV and stuff, we typically want to escape this world. Right. I've had a common theory that fiction is like a coping mechanism with all of the crappy stuff that goes on in the world. It's like we want to escape all of that. If I'm going to read nonfiction, it's probably the current events that are going on, and trying my best to keep up with them.
Right. Yeah, especially these days.
Yeah, things are just a little crazy.
Just a little.
But yeah, when I was a kid, I was slightly obsessed with Vietnam, and I have no reason for that. And I don't know how much I even remember, so don't try to quiz me.
Okay, this is like a really sad answer, but as far as books go, I've read very, very few nonfiction books that I can remember. The one that's sticking out in my mind is really funny. It's please don't hold this against me. For school one year, like for summer reading, I chose to read Tony Hawk's autobiography, and I thought it was going to be full of thrills, and it was, he's just a normal dude who had a skill and he made a living off of it, and good for him. But man, I don't want to read any more nonfiction after that. As far as watching nonfiction, we haven't seen Dunkirk yet. I really want to see.
I really
I don't know how
that.
well that adapts the true story, obviously.
I do love. You know what mine is? I love watching Planet Earth. I love Planet Earth.
Okay.
That's fantastic, and that's nonfiction.
That is.
It's not a story, but
no.
It's little critters. I love them.
Those little
critters.
That's
That's my answer. And we love watching certain documentaries too.
Yeah. If I were to, if this counts, I would say the docudrama that came out for Doctor Who's 50th, An Adventure in Space and Time, that stars David Bradley as he's playing the character of William Hartnell, who played the character of the First Doctor, and it's his story of how he got the role and how he eventually lost it to mental illness and old age. And it's touching, it's beautiful, and it's Doctor Who history done right. And I love that, and there are some fantastical elements of it. I won't spoil what those are, but for the most part, it's pretty true to the story of how the show started. And if you guys haven't checked that out, I definitely recommend it. Zephin, this is the person who so graciously gave us our first motion logos. Thank you so much, man. Again.
Yeah, thank you.
This is an interesting question. If Skrulls existed in our universe and you were a Skrull, who would you impersonate and why?
And it's such a timely question.
It's timely because we recently found out that in Captain Marvel, which is going to be taking place in the 90s, the main villain or the main villains will be the Skrulls, which is an alien race that can become human. Not become human, but they can impersonate humans so well that sometimes they don't even realize that they are Skrulls. It's such a good disguise. I think a lot of what the Skrulls were is like a response to, you know, Soviet spies back in the Cold War era. So it's such a cool concept to me that these creatures, these characters, these aliens could have been impersonating these characters for decades, potentially. Which, and being that this film takes place in the 90s, everyone started thinking, oh, I wonder if all these Avengers are going to be, or any of the Avengers are going to be fake Avengers. And there's a scene in Captain America Winter Soldier where Director Fury says, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. So I think we're going to be getting a scene of, because Samuel L. Jackson is going to be in that film, I think we're going to get a scene where he loses that eye to a Skrull. Bloop. So we'll see about that. As far as if they existed in our universe, I don't have like a particularly good answer. I don't want to live as someone else. I just kind of want to live my life to the fullest, I guess. Like, to the best of my abilities and, you know, to the best of my moral code. As far as like choosing someone to impersonate, I don't really know if I'd even want to. What about you?
I said last time, which I might be changing my answer. I said that I would find like some like heiress or like someone who inherited a ton of money, but that's a bit of a recluse and has like odd hobbies. I want to be that person. I want to be able, I want someone else's hard work to support me doing the things I enjoy. I want to kick it. But my question is, and then you can be my pool boy, so it could work out beneficially for both of us.
Yeah.
And we don't really have to live
what
someone
if you
else's
just fire
life.
the
Like,
current pool boy and I'll just take the pool boy's job?
yeah, that's what I would do. Well, there could be two pool boys. Like, I don't want someone to lose their job. But my question is, what happens to the person that I'm impersonating? Do they die? Because if I don't want to kill someone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
It's a good question.
Because then you kind of have to kill them. I can't just there can't just be two of us, you know, walking about this earth.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
I don't want to kill anyone.
I don't know, John.
So maybe I'll, can I become an animal? Can I become a dove?
No, that's not. That's. I mean, I'm sure you can, but
Maybe I should pick something a little more powerful.
We'll come back to this question. It's worth doing an episode over. I
I
think.
want to be one of those doves that gets released in music videos or at weddings.
Or in magician shows. Sadly, a lot of those doves die in the box because of
Oh yeah,
bad
you're right.
oxygen.
That's horrible.
Oh man,
Death is always involved.
I was at a wedding a while back.
No.
And someone opened the box and it was supposed to symbolize the two of them forever, and one of them just flopped out. The other just ran off.
You never told me that.
It wasn't someone I was extremely close to. I just thought it was hilarious. This is when I was a kid, but yeah, that stuck with me. It was just like.
Well, there you go.
All right, next. Okay, this is an interesting one, and I think it's pretty easy to answer. Would you rather live in the Harry Potter universe or the Doctor Who universe? And let's just put it this way. Any business venture, any discovery, any idea, any planet, any time, anywhere in space and time, people are trying to kill you. Something is trying to kill you. Why would anyone want to live in the Doctor Who universe?
Yeah,
Literally,
it sounds horrible.
Statistically speaking...
Unless you're in the TARDIS, it sucks.
Statistically speaking, every time the Doctor comes out of a TARDIS, 2 or 3 people die. 2 or 3 people get lost. 2 or 3 people go to another dimension. No, I would hate living in the Doctor Who universe. Unless I was either the Doctor or I was a companion. I just want there to be an episode where they acknowledge the fact that this universe is crazy and people die so regularly to violence and corporate greed, and I just want there to be an episode where the Doctor opens the TARDIS doors and says to the closest humans, "Are there any problems you're having? Is there anything strange going on that wasn't going on a year ago? Are there any creatures that shouldn't be here but are?" And I would ask like the gamut of questions that, you know, you should ask as the Doctor when the TARDIS takes you somewhere that isn't where you wanted it to go.
There's something going on. There's something awry.
There has to be. And he's always surprised when something is. I mean, I love the show, but realistically, people are dying left and right, man.
I wouldn't last. I'd be that dove.
You'd be the dove. So this dovetails into... Ooh, you see what I did there?
Ooh, nice.
Dovetails into our next question, such as...
Is that an actual phrase, or did you make that up?
Oh, it's an actual phrase. That's an actual phrase. If you could be in one sci-fi or fantasy universe other than Doctor Who, what universe would that be? Any universe besides Doctor Who universe. Easy. Either The Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Star Wars.
If you could get rid of one Doctor Who companion from New Who or from Old Who, who would you get rid of?
I don't have enough experience with Old Who to say just yet. So I'll go with New Who, and I'm going to go with Martha.
Okay.
Even though I feel bad doing that, it's just because I have to pick one. But it's not that I dislike her in any way. I just love all of the others too much. But I like that she ends up with Mickey at the end. I guess it was just like after Rose, it was like, what are you doing here? You know?
Now, my answer is going to be controversial, but it comes with a caveat. I would choose Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter. And I know that's a very important part of Doctor Who's history, but it's something that was never, like, really brought back into the show since. And they tease it every now and then, but I feel like it's an eternal tease. I don't think they're actually going to bring Susan Foreman back. And for that reason, I wish the show had never introduced her. Obviously, you can't retroactively do that, but that's the whole point of this question, I think.
Well, there you go.
There you have it. In your opinion, what's an overrated TV show movie?
We agreed. Big Bang Theory. Sorry. I know some people like it.
I know a lot of you like it. I mean...
We're not really sure why.
It's the most watched show on cable television.
It's beyond us.
We don't personally find it very funny. We don't personally find it funny.
You might think it's beyond us. We think it's beneath us, but whatever.
Wow. We're going to get some dislikes for that one. I think it's poorly written. It's proven time and time again that the show's writers don't understand geekdom and fandom beyond the stereotypes that geeks and nerds have been portrayed with the past 30, 40 years. And that bugs me. That it bothers me whenever I watch it, and like sometimes when we're on planes or whatever, that's like really the only time that we'll watch it.
It'll be on.
And people are just laughing their heads off about like stupid stuff that I find offensive, actually.
There was a woman sitting in front of us, literally like
cackling,
crying, laughing, like right in front of us, and I'm trying to sleep. It's like it's a what is that called? A red eye. It's a red eye flight, and this woman is in front of me, just hysterically laughing, and I was just like, please, someone stop her, please. Why is this allowed to happen? Not that obviously somebody could have been doing the same thing with a show that I enjoyed, but it just confused me even more when I kind of peered over and I saw it was The Big Bang Theory. I'm like, most unfunny show on television. Anyway,
well, that's our opinion. Obviously, it may not be your opinion. Let us know what your most overrated or underrated TV show is, or movie. If they could, which companion would they bring back to be with the 13th Doctor? So that to negate what I said with who I would get rid of, if they could bring back Susan Foreman, do it. You can do it.
Then make it count.
Make it count. Make it like an actual like storyline. Either that or Romana. I want to see other Time Lords that aren't crazy.
That aren't psychotic.
Yeah.
For me, it would be Donna. I love Donna.
Donna's a good one.
She's my fave.
Richard Poole, will we ever retake Constantinople and reestablish Byzantium? Don't understand your question, buddy. I'm sure it makes sense to you and to maybe a large portion of you, but it... On a scale of 1 to dab to you're dead, how much are you anticipating the release of Ragnarok? Jen?
When we first filmed this, I just went like, I had a lot more energy, and I just went, and just like, and then I said I'll dab until I break my neck, but not until I die. Like, you know, break it so that it's healable.
I made her stop. But I would say 87 dabs, because around 90 is when I'll physically die. But you'll never see me do a dab on the show.
How many dabs does it take to get to the center of my death?
Or a Tootsie Pop. The world may never know.
I'm picturing someone's like elbow while they're dabbing, ramming into a Tootsie Pop. That has to hurt and be sticky.
Richard Poole also asks, what is your favorite movie and why is it the Emoji Movie?
I forgot about this.
2 reasons. 2 reasons the Emoji Movie is my favorite movie ever, all time. It's because A, we haven't seen it yet, and B, as a newly minted contrarian, I feel the need to completely go against anything that the critics have said thus far about the film.
For me, it's because now there's a dab emoji, so that's why it's my favorite.
Makes sense.
Adds up.
Adds up. And this is a question directly at me because Jen mentioned that I liked the Elder Scrolls games. Which one is my favorite? I would have to say Oblivion. That's the one that I really started with. I played a little bit of Morrowind before that, but it was before my time. And Skyrim would be a close second, and I just started playing ESO, so maybe that'll take the cake, but I doubt it. And that's all of our questions, folks.
Whoa. That's all, folks.
That's all. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching our video up to this point. We know it's a long one. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. It really does help. And consider becoming a patron if you so enjoy our videos and want to help fund our program. And subscribe if you don't already. But if you've watched this far and aren't subscribed, I'd be a little confused, personally.
Please sub.
Please, sir. Need more subs. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
It's just a